Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Skype show. Thank you to Maya and for Jonah for arranging this show. Welcome, everybody. We are tonight being hosted by the Basan family. So we would like to thank the Basan family for hosting us tonight. A very kind event. I don't know if they've got refreshments as well. So we wish them a lot. Sorry? Thank you, Zelda. Thank you. We are in Porat Yosef Synagogue studying Parashat Beshalach. And I would like to dedicate this shiur for tonight's shiur for Shlema for Rivka Bat Shaina and Gabriela Nomi Bat Lea Malka and Elisheva Bat Sheva Bat Rivka. Kelna Rafana Lehem B'fuat HaNefesh B'fuat HaGuf B'fuat Kol Malavo. Is it loud enough? Yeah?
I can hear you well.
Oh, excellent. Okay, very good. So, very exciting parasha. There's a lot of action in this week's parasha. Yeah, Beshalach Paro, Am Yisrael leave Mitzrayim. We've got the chase of Paro, the Kriyat Yam Suf, Az Yashir Moshe. We've got the Parashat Aman, Parashat Amalek. This is action-packed. Yeah, We're going to just do a little bit, touch it on, and try and get some few messages out of this week's parasha. So, first thing, you have a Chumash with you?
Yeah, I'm watching it online.
Okay, so you've got Vayehi Beshalach Paro et ha'am. Just avoid the children now. Vayehi Beshalach Paro et ha'am. So the first question is Vayehi is when Paro sends the people from Egypt. Now, the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he asks the question, why does it say Vayehi? Vayehi is an expression or Lashon Vai. Vai is Lashon Tzar, or like Oy Vai, right? That's Vayehi. V'haya is the expression of Samach. So the question Or HaChaim asks, and also the Dad Zakim, why does it say Vayehi Beshalach Paro, right? When Am Yisrael left Mitzrayim, it was a happy occasion, right? It's not bad news, it's good news. So why does it use the expression in the Torah of Vayehi, which is a Vai? Is that clear, the question?
Yeah? The question is clear, the answer is not so clear.
Okay. And any suggestions? So I'll tell you the Or HaChaim answer. Or HaChaim says, Vayehi Beshalach Paro et ha'am. What's ha'am?
I guess they refer to Bnei Israel, no?
Oh, very good. So there's two parts, you see. Man, you see the Torah sometimes uses the word and sometimes uses the word Am Yisrael, or Ami. Ami is my people. Just means a nation. Beshalach ha'am is a nation, the nation. And generally, you see the Or HaChaim says, that ha'am is referring to the Erev Rav. Erev Rav is the converts that joined on to Am Yisrael, right? And they had the negative influence on Am Yisrael. They're responsible for the complaining and for the Egel HaZahav and all of that. So the Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, Vayehi Beshalach Paro et ha'am. Now we're saying why because Hashem sent also the Erev Rav out of Mitzrayim, together with Am Yisrael. That is one explanation. I had another beautiful explanation, and this is really what I wanted to share with you. And this is a big lesson in Emunah. It says Vayehi Beshalach Paro. Vai to Beshalach Paro, to whoever thinks that it was Paro that sent Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. It's not Vayehi Beshalach Paro. Who sent Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim? Who took them out of Egypt? Hashem took them out of Egypt. It wasn't Paro. So if you think Beshalach Paro, that's Vai. Vayehi Beshalach Paro. Vai to all those who think that it's Paro. Now, you think it's funny, yeah? Maybe it's amusing, but the truth is that this is the emunah that we have. when you have leaders in the world, right? And they either they attack Israel or they do something, so you think, okay, oh, we've got a problem with the Palestinians, okay, or Hamas, or you think it's there's no ISIS, there's no Arabs, it's only Hashem who's doing it. That is not Vihi Beshalach Paro. It's Hashem is sending it. When there's a suicide bombing or there's attack, you have to think, okay, Hashem is trying to tell me something. What are we supposed to do? It's not, okay, now let's attack the Arabs, fight back. No, it's not about fighting Arabs, it's about fighting ourselves. That's Vihi Beshalach Paro. That's the message of it. Also the other way around, the leaders of the world, the President of America, the new one. So everyone's getting excited about what he's doing. So we have to remember that our emunah is he doesn't really do anything. It's just puppets in the hand of Hashem. It's Vahi Beshalach Paro. Whatever he does for or against or pro-Israel or anything, there's nothing to do with him. It's only Hashem. And that's really the first opening lesson that we learn from the Parashat of Vahi Beshalach Paro. That's not Paro, it's Am Yisrael. That's the first thing. Okay. So, am I loud enough?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, so very good. So, ולא ניחם אלוקים דרך ארץ פלישתים כי קרוב הוא, כי אמור אלוקים פן ינחם העם בראותם מלחמה ושבו מצרימה. Okay, how do you understand the pasuk, man? How do you understand? Yeah? Carry on. Exactly. Okay, that means Hashem took them, how did they go in? From Egypt to Israel. They didn't go the direct route. They went all around the desert and they went up from the side of Israel. Right? Inside from Yericho, from Yarden. So the question is, why did they do that? So Hashem, so the Pasuk tells us, because maybe they're going to go into the Pelishtim. Pelishtim was family with Mitzrayim, right? So they just, demolished Mitzrayim. And now the Pelishtim is like, okay, that's my cousin. Okay, now you're going to travel with us. So they're going to be scared of Milchama and they're going to turn around and go back to Mitzrayim. Right. Now I just want to, that's the explanation of the Pasuk. I want to go a little bit deeper on this. Okay, Am Yisrael were in Mitzrayim for how long?
400 years.
200. 210 years. Yes, so there's 400 years in Egypt and 210 years of slavery. Now, did they have a fun time in Egypt? Or did they have a burdensome? Oh, so, okay, so the excellent answer, Meir. So for the 209 years, they were in Egypt. And no, I want to make a point over here. For 209 years, they were suffering, right? They weren't allowed, to take showers, to take breaks, to sleep. Just slavery. It's slavery, okay? The children were killed. The babies were put in as bricks into the wall. Yeah, it was suffering, right? Okay, so the 1 year they had of plagues, that was 1 year. So now, when they're facing fights, right? Anything is small compared to what they suffered in Egypt. So why would the first thing that they think of, okay, let's go back. Let's go back. It wasn't so fun there, right? Why you want to go back to Egypt? What do you think about that?
Sometimes the familiar is better than any unknown.
Oh, very good. So, one idea, Mo, is a person. Thank you very much. Yeah. One idea is that a person, when gets used to any position, right, where however difficult something is, if you're there long enough, if you were born as a slave and you're used to it, if this is who we are, we're slaves, and you're used to it, the person can get used to that. But the thing is over here that even though they suffered a long time, but in the end, they left Mitzrayim bil Chush Gadol. Right? They got all the money and the jewelry and the gold from the Egyptians. Yeah, they left on the good terms. They were in good mood. They are like unhappy to leave. And they're saying now we're going to have to go into a country, we have to fight for it, and we have to stop building everything, and there's no infrastructure, and there's no network. We don't have to, why? Let's just go back to Egypt. We smashed all the Egyptians. Let's just go back. We know the country. We know, we know the places. We know how to get around. We know the land. We know every rock and every stone, every tree. Let's go back to Egypt because you're very comfortable with it. And the point is, even though they were suffering for a very long time, but at the end, because they ended off nicely, right? So that is the main thing. Everything goes according to the end. Now, this is a really big lesson in life. You see that many times, a person can have a friendship. Okay, you can be best friends for 20 years. Okay, and then you have a bus stop at the end. Yeah, and that's it. You don't talk anymore for the rest of your life, right? You leave countries, or you leave cities, or you leave towns, and that's the end. And the opposite as well. You can have a neighbor that you never speak to, right? Or you have fights with, and at the end, you make friends. You make it good. So that is what you're left with, and that's the human psychology. That it goes, it doesn't matter what happened on the end. That's why it's always good, very important to finish and end it off nicely. Okay, let's say if you're doing a business deal, right? Or no, you just had somebody, I don't know, refurbishing your house, or he's fixing up something. Yes, you had a lot of arguments along the way, about how to do things. But if you finish it nicely, that's the main thing. You did good in the end. You finished it off well. And the opposite true, you can see sometimes you're on the phone, you speak to someone on the phone, and then it hangs up, and you didn't manage to, to say goodbye. So you call back, say, "Oh no, I just wanted to say goodbye. I didn't manage to say goodbye." Why? Because it's important. The end is important. You see the importance. They always say to advice in marriage that if there's a difference of opinions, or there's manchil metach, right? You should never go to sleep, and there's a misunderstanding between the couple. Always, make sure you settle it, end off peacefully, make sure, hope you understand each other, and end off nicely. Everyone, apologize to each other, didn't mean that and everything, and try and settle it before you go to sleep. Well, because that's the ending. So you see here how important it was that Am Yisrael were ready to go back to Mitzrayim, even though they suffered for over 200 years, just because the end was nice. Okay, I want to share with you now a beautiful idea. One second. Why did Hashem wanted them to go around? He says, he took them through the midbar. What's the midbar? The wilderness. Why the wilderness? What's the point of that? Do you see any purpose of that? How long does it take Hashem to take us into Israel? You could have just taken us, you could have in one shot, right? In one shot, turn all the Philistine, turn them all into balloons and pop them. Why do you have to go wandering around into the desert for 40 years? What was the point of that? Okay, so one thing was for punishment, but there was also different. You see here before they're being punished, yeah. Here they want to go into wilderness for a period of time. You're right, Meir, but even before they got punished, Hashem took them into the desert. Did you see anything purposeful? What was there to gain by being in the desert? Excellent. Excellent. Who says that, Pshat? The Kliakar. Kliakar is one of the famous Mefarshim on the Torah. You find him in the Mikhaot Gedorot. So he says along the lines of Meir. Okay, what was the importance? He said, I want you to go into the wilderness, right? And I'm going to provide for you. Water, it's on me, okay? Food, the man is on me. The clouds of glory on me. Everything's protection for me. And why is that? Because Hashem wanted to instill inside the Am Yisrael the emunah that Hashem could provide in every situation. it doesn't matter where you're going. You left Egypt, you were very comfortable there, but you don't need Egypt. You don't need anything. Hashem can provide for you everywhere you go. This is why before you go into Eretz Israel, the land of Emunah, you have to have the Emunah that Hashem can provide for you everywhere. And in order to put into Am Yisrael the Emunah, he took them into the desert to show them he can provide for them. There was one explanation. Another explanation is the Dad Zakenim. Okay, can you imagine now they're going into Eretz Israel, right? And and they have to start building the cities, building schools, building infrastructure. Nothing's ready there. So they're going to be so busy, building their farms and planting, they're not going to have time to learn Torah. And the first thing a person needs to do is to be able to learn Torah. The fundamental, the foundation of a person is his learning of Torah. And if he's going to be occupied, so busy with everything else, he's not going to be able to focus in on learning the Torah. Especially a person in his early years, right? Before he goes on with his life, he gets married, then he starts a business and he's building. But in the beginning, he should have a foundation of learning Torah for the rest of his life. And Hashem wanted Am Yisrael to have those years in the desert. Maor, can you see Pasuk Yud-Chet?
Yes.
Okay, what does it say? V'chamushim alu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. What does it mean, v'chamushim?
Chamushim, I don't think like armed in the matter of like with weapon, like Chamushim, like with the skill, knowledge.
Okay, so very good. Can you look at Rashi?
Yes. חמושים אלא מזוינים. לפי שהסיוון במדבר גרם להם שעלו חמושים. שאלו הסיוון דרך יישוב, לא היו מחומשים להם כל מה שצריכים.
So I'm going to say, Rashi says two explanations. One explanation is Chamushim means they came out actually with weapons. And the Rabbeinu Bachai said they actually had 5 different types of weapons. Chamushim, he says 5 different types of weapons. And what was the reason for that? So the Ibn Ezra, he said that, if the Am Yisrael were leaving, they didn't want them to feel like they're running away, like, a slave, kavadim sheborchim. Ella kelochamim, like fighters, like they were victorious. Not like they ran away, but actually, they came in victory. That the weapons weren't for fighting; they were just for show. For the kavod for themselves. That they actually, went out as freedom, or like soldiers who were victorious in the war. Not like Abadim who had to run away because they escaped. That was explained from the Ibn Ezra. And Rashi says Chamushim means 1/5. 1/5. Look at the second pshat in Rashi, if you can see it. Davar acher. Look at the end of Rashi. Davar acher. You see? The last line.
דבר אחרי חמושים, 1 מ-5 יצאו, ו4 חלקים מתו בשלושת ימי אפלה.
Yeah. That was in the plague of darkness. And this is really tragic that you see Am Yisrael, however happy they were, but there were a lot of almanot and yatomim because people died. Am Yisrael died. Not everyone was merit to go out. Not everyone believed in the Geula. Not even everyone wanted the Geula. Not everyone deserved to leave. And actually 4/5 didn't. And they say also Ba'atid Lavo, when Mashiach will come to the Geula, not everyone will be zocher to see Mashiach. And a lot of Am Yisrael we're going to lose. We have to, take care to daven and to pray for the people that we love and close to us. We want them to be zocher, to be there with us in the Geula of the Korah B'ezrat Hashem when Mashiach comes. I want to share a study with you. Parasha. Look at Pasuk Yud-Tet. Yud-Tet. ויקח משה את עצמות יוסף. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what? Yeah. Mo, you want to read the pasuk for me?
Yes. ויקח משה את עצמות יוסף עמו, כי השבע השביע את בני ישראל לאמור, פקוד יפקוד אלוהים אתכם, והעליתם את עצמותי מזה איתכם.
Right. So, what was the reason? What was Moshe doing? Moshe took the bones of Yosef to bring him into Eretz Israel. That's a Veikach Moshe. Now, first of all, what does it mean, Hashbeah, Hashbeah? What does it mean, Hashbeah, Hashbeah?
I think it means like it's very strong, powerful oath. That
Who made the oath?
Like Joseph kind of like asked or demanded the Bnei Israel to take the oath of like taking his bones, his remains with them when they leave.
Why did he do that? Why did he need to make a shvuah?
Because they wanted to be eventually, because I guess like he the nevuah shelo, he knew like at some point the Israel will go back.
Yeah. Oh,
And we
wrong?
wanted them to take to be buried in Eretz Israel.
Oh, so very good. So I want to very good Maor. I'll tell you something. Yaakov Avinu, before he died, he made his sons promise him that they're going to bury him in Marat HaMachpelah. Yaakov Avinu. Okay. So Yosef has now did the same thing as Yaakov, but it's something different. Yaakov made his sons promise. Ishbi'a et banav. But Yosef told all of Am Yisrael, you're all responsible. Moshe wasn't Yosef's son. Moshe was leader of Am Yisrael, right? So what was he doing with dealing with the bones? So he's fulfilling the shvuah that all of Am Yisrael did. Now, what was the reason that Yosef made the shvuah on all of Am Yisrael? And Yaakov only told Yosef to take him, to bury him. What's the difference? How do you know that, man? How do you know? Okay, excellent. Read Parashat Rashi. Just Hashbeah. סיפוק בידי. בניי. Yeah, that means Yaakov knew his son was king of Egypt. So his son, Yosef, he could do whatever he wanted. But Yosef was worried his children wouldn't be able to do it. So he said, all of Am Yisrael, when you leave, I want you to take my bones. That's how Rashi explains. But I want to share with you another beautiful explanation I saw from the Shach. The Shach is Siftei Kohen ala Torah. He wrote a sefer, beautiful sefer. And he says, you know why Yosef made all of Am Yisrael do a shvuah? Because he wanted them to have in mind that when they leave, they need to take him. Because when they got an oath that they have something to do when they leave, it gives them hope that they are going to leave one day. Yeah, he's worried maybe they're going to be so engrossed in their slavery and they're just going to forget and feel like they're going to be there forever. But when they remember, and each one tells their children, don't forget, when we leave, we have promised that we have to take Yosef bones to go. So that brings them a hope, a tikvah, that one day they're going to leave. And Yosef wanted to keep that alive, to keep that hope that it's going to be another 200 years until you get out. But during that time, don't lose the faith and keep hope that you're going to be able to leave one day. Okay. So that is the first step. Now, okay. Now I want to show you the Gemara in Sotah. It says, ויקח משה את עצמות יוסף. Moshe took the bones of Yosef, בעוד שהיו ישראל משתדלים בצרכי הגוף, ומתעסקים בשאלת כסף וזהב, היה משה מתעסק בצרכי הנפש בדבר מצווה. What does that mean? Before they left Mitzrayim, right? So everyone was busy in taking gold and silver from Mitzrayim. Right? And Hashem told everyone, yeah, please take gold and silver from the Egyptians, right? What was Moshe busy with? Moshe was busy looking for the bones of Yosef. How did he find them? Does anybody know? No?
No.
Exactly. Very good, Yosef. Very good, Leo. Yosef was put into the river Nile, and he was hidden in the water, right? And it was held there down by like a spell that you couldn't raise him up. And only Moshe Rabbeinu, he wrote on a cloth, Kamiya, and he put it into the water, right, Alei Shur, and then rose up the body of Yosef. Now, what was Moshe busy at the time? And this is what we learn from the Gemara Sotah, and this is really our lesson I want to take for us today. That when everyone else was busy, worried about their own money, and to take sure, this is really the opportunity for the rest of their lives, right? To go into the wealth, take the wealth out of inside, right? So everyone had to care for their family, take for themselves, right? Imagine you get into Ma'or, yeah. Imagine you can go into the Queen's treasure. What's it called? The crown jewels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, okay, Ma'or b'chavod, you got half an hour. Yeah, take your bag and fill your bag with the crown jewels. Okay? And that was the opportunity Moshe Rabbeinu had, and instead of doing that, he said, listen, I've got something more important to do. I'm taking the atzmot of Yosef. And when Moshe did that, he was actually fulfilling the mitzvah of fulfilling the shvuah, the oath, the shvuah that all of Israel had. So the Gemara said about this Moshe, that Moshe was mechabev et mitzvot. Chabibut mitzvot means the love. Chabibut is the fondness and the love, the pleasure, the passion that Moshe has for mitzvot. Chabibut mitzvot, you see it over here. And the Gemara says a pasuk in Mishlei. The pasuk in Mishlei says, Chacham lev yikach mitzvot. Chacham lev yikach mitzvot. What does it mean, Chacham lev yikach mitzvot? That means a wise person, he will take mitzvot.
Yeah, I think Moshe shows us that he is very wise, because I guess he knew what is going to do with the crown jewels in the desert. It's not going to be worth much.
Okay, but afterwards, the jewelry is worth money. Jewelry is jewelry. In Eretz Israel, when you're going after it, it's fortune for a lifetime.
Yeah, but because he was wise, and obviously not underestimating the mitzvah, because they did two mitzvot. One, taking the Atzmot Yosef, but also basically saving Bnei Israel from breaking the oath.
Oh, so very good. Oh, you actually mentioned that's what the Ben Ish Chai said. Ben Ish Chai, very good, Ma'or. Ben Ish Chai says, why is it chibuv mitzvot? How do you see the love of mitzvot? Mitzvot is a plural, minimum of two. So he said there was two mitzvot. One is the Gemilut Chasadim with Yosef, that he actually took to bury Yosef. And another one is that he was exempting them from the Shubu'ah, fulfilling the Shubu'ah. So that's very good, Ma'or, you said the Ben Ish Chai. But I'm going to talk about a different point. Why does the Gemara say the pasuk of Chacham lev yikach mitzvot? Do you have to be a Chacham to take mitzvot? For you, do a mitzvah or avera, right? Mitzvah, you get a lot of schar. Avera is bad. So you have to be a genius to work out that it's better to do the mitzvah. Every child can understand that. Explain. I've got a 4-year-old, and I can understand that it's better to do the mitzvah, right? He's a clever 4-year-old, but it doesn't have to be chacham, lev, yikach mitzvot. What do you think about that, Mo?
Yeah, I think they say chacham lev and not chacham rosh or sechel because it's something from the inside. I guess if you chacham lev and you do mitzvot, eventually you will get what you deserve. So if you deserve to be rich, so the money will come to you in the end. You don't need to go for it.
Very interesting. So you're saying, cheshben mitzvah keneged tzara.
Yeah, I guess Moshe knows, in this situation, Moshe knows that he doesn't need to chase the Jews now because if when he will come to Eretz Israel, Hashem will decide to give him a lot of wealth, so he will get all this wealth when they reach to Eretz Israel. He doesn't need to carry it all the way to Eretz Israel.
Oh, very nice idea, Mo. Very nice. He's saying he's not going to lose out. He'll get it in the end anyway.
Yeah, if you chacham lev and have emunah, yeah. So this is.
I want to share with you a beautiful idea, and I remember hearing this from my mashgiach in yeshiva. In yeshiva when I was in Gateshead, and I think if I remember, he said it from Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, and he said the following idea. He said, he said, what's a chacham? Yikach lev chacham. He said sometimes you've got an option of what to do. Yeah, let's say you got to choose Tuesday night, right? I can do a mitzvah and come to the shiur for Skype shiur, yeah. Or I can go with my friends and I don't know what, do something which is not a mitzvah. Yeah, let's say not avera, but not a mitzvah. So then obviously the right thing to do is to come for the shiur. But what if you've got a mitzvah, another mitzvah? You got a mitzvah to put your kids to sleep, yeah? It's also a mitzvah, right? And it's a mitzvah to come for the shiur. So now what do you do? It's very difficult, right? How do you choose between two mitzvah? And he explained that's what it means, chacham lev, yikach mitzvah. That yikach is an expression of mekach, which means a purchase. Right? Chacham lev yikach mitzvot, when you buy mitzvot. That's if you got a certain amount of money you're investing, okay? So you go investment, you want to make the best investment. So which way you're going to put your money? You're going to make sure you put the money in the right place, right? Where you're going to have the most revenue, dividend on the money, right? Makes sense? So when you're doing a mitzvah and you've got a choice between two mitzvot, you want to capitalize and do the mitzvah, which is going to give you the most schar, the biggest reward. So that's why you need to be a chacham. Now, how do you see that from Moshe? So you see that Am Yisrael, they didn't just take the money because they wanted money. Moshe Rabbeinu had to go and convince Am Yisrael to go and take money, right? People don't just like taking money, yeah. Even and there's something a little bit embarrassing about just taking money that is not from you. So Hashem had to command Am Yisrael to go and take money from the Egyptians, because Hashem promised them v'yitzu b'rechush gadol. He promised Avraham Avinu v'yitzu b'rechush gadol. They're going to leave with a lot of money, with a great rechush. Rechush is assets. So to fulfill that, he told them you have to go and get money. So it's a mitzvah, right? So now I'm telling you to get the crown jewels. It's also a mitzvah mishamayim to go and get the crown jewel.
Mm-hmm.
So now Moshe is got a mitzvah of taking money from the Egyptians on one hand, and on the other hand taking Atzmot Yosef. Two mitzvot in the hand. Everyone's busy with the money, and he's got a mitzvah also to do the money, which is also a mitzvah, or go for the Atzmot Yosef. Now what do you do? Two mitzvot. How do you balance it? How would you choose?
I guess in this specific situation, when Moshe sees everyone is going for one mitzvah and they skip the other, so he's doing the one that left to do. I guess if someone else would take Atzmot Yosef, so maybe Moshe would have go for.
Go on, Meir wants to say something. Very good, Meir, go on. Right? Oh, very good. Very interesting that you make that, Meir. So, yeah, but how are you explaining why Moshe would choose the bones over the money? The birth mitzvah. We're explaining that there's two mitzvah to do. So Ma'or is saying that there's no one else to do the mitzvah of the bones, so Moshe would do it. If someone else would do it, then. Oh, so this is the message I want to say there. First of all, when there's a rare mitzvah, there's a mitzvah that no one is doing this mitzvah, right? No one's doing it, and it's left on its own. So of course Hashem wants someone to do that mitzvah, and you're going to be the only one who's doing it. But if there's a mitzvah that everyone's doing, yeah, everyone's doing, you got the option of two. Okay, obviously you try and do as many mitzvahs as you can, but sometimes you got to choose one. So you want to make sure you get the best one. So the best one is the one which no one's doing. You see that mitzvah which no one is doing, it's very difficult. That's the one you have to go for. Okay, so if you're living in a period of time where everyone is Lashon Hara, everyone's speaking Lashon Hara, okay? You have to be very careful not to speak Lashon Hara. That's the biggest mitzvah to do, right? If you're in a place where no one is learning Torah, no one's learning Torah, no one's going to the shiur, so you have to be that person going to the shiur. That is the biggest reward, yeah? You have to be that one. You have to go for the courage and be there. That is the Moshe Rabbeinu. When Moshe Rabbeinu went to get the bones, he saw no one's doing it. That is mitzvah chaviva on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what he loves. That's what I'm going to go for. And you see a lot of times you don't know what to do. I've got two mitzvahs. Which one should I go for? So here the message is to do the mitzvah which no one is doing. Now I'm just reminded about the halakha of the Rambam. Rambam says halakha. A person, has to try and learn Torah as much as he can whenever he can. But if there's a different mitzvah to do, then sometimes he has to stop learning Torah to do a mitzvah. And Rambam says two conditions. Which is a mitzvah overet, which means a mitzvah which is going to pass, because I can't do it now, I can't do it later. For example, Tefillin or Kriyat Shema, Shema Yisrael. If I don't do Kriyat Shema now, I'm going to miss the mitzvah. I have to stop learning Torah and do that mitzvah. And another condition is that Efshar al yidei acherim. What's Efshar al yidei acherim? There's no one else to do the mitzvah. That means it could be a very important mitzvah. But if there's someone else to do it, I'll let someone else do it. And I will continue to learn Torah. But if there's no one else to do it, then you have to do it, right? So if you got a shiur on Tuesday night, right, and someone has to put their children to sleep, and there's no one else to do it, you have to do it. You've got that's your mitzvah. You מבטל תורה and do the mitzvah, שזה מצווה עוברת, שאי אפשר על ידי אחרים, and that's הלכה of the Rambam. Yeah, but let's say if there's someone else there, your wife's there, or your mother's there, the savta, the auntie, there's other people to put the kids to sleep. You don't need to be there. Then the answer, okay, you go to the shiur, that's on the mitzvah. Then that's the dependent situation. So, Meir, you want to say?
Okay, let me. Better now?
Okay, so I want to share with you a beautiful story. I heard this from Rav Dayan Baruch Shaga. I'm studying with him, I'm doing a shimush in Bet Horah with Dayan, and we're learning with him. He's the Av Bedin Rosh Avot Beti Adin in Yerushalayim. He's big Talmid Chacham, and it's big schut. Once a week we stay with him. We learn from him halacha. So he told us a story. And he said one Baal Shuvah, he was very strong, and he used to come every week to the shiur. Thursday night was a shiur with Rav Baruch Shraga, and he used to come every week without fail, never miss a shiur. Okay, and one week he said to him, "Listen, Rav, next week I can't come." He said, "Why not?" He said, "I've got askara for my father. And my father, he's buried not in Yerushalayim, somewhere, I don't know, in the north, Chulon, I don't know where, and all my family is going, and I need to go to the askara." So fair enough, right? It's justified. So Rav Baruch told him, he said, "Well, Chaval, you're going to miss the shiur for that, shiur Torah." He said, who else is going to be in the shiur? You have to be there for the shiur. He said, "Okay, I don't." He said, "Rabbi, whatever you say, I'm doing. But what should I do with my family?" He said to them, "Listen, tell your family that they should go to Askar, go to the kever, or do the kaddish in the kever. But you're going to learn the shiur, Leilui Nishmat your father. That's what you're going to do for your father." So he says, "Okay, Rabbi, if you say that, I'm in." And he said, all this time, he said, "My family are going to be upset with me." He said, "Look, you're doing the right thing. You don't have to, don't worry about what they're going to say. You're doing the right thing." So he said, "Okay." So he told them he's not coming. And then he came to the shiur on Thursday and enjoyed the shiur. And then Shabbat or Friday, he calls up the Rav, or Sunday, or the next Sunday, and he says, "Rav, he said, you're not going to believe what happened." And this is a true story. I heard this from a Baruch Shaga. He said, "Rav, my father came to me in a dream, and he said to me, what all the family did for me was nothing in Shamayim compared to what you did for me on that Thursday when you did this shiur, Leilui Nishmati. What you did for me in Shamayim is more than everyone what they did put together." He said, "The shiur Torah." He said, sometimes you have to be chacham, lev, lakach, to get the right mitzvah. Of course, everyone wants to do the best thing for their father. Everyone wants to go to the kever and do kaddish. But what are you going to miss on the other hand? What are you giving up? You're giving up the mitzvah of shiur Torah barabim. How are you going to make up for that? You have to be lekach. You have to be chacham lev to bind the right mitzvah. Of course, it's a mitzvah to say kaddish for everyone. It's a big mitzvah. But what's more? That's why also on the I think Rav Chaim Filaji writes on the day of the Askara to say the Haftarah. To say the Haftarah is more than saying Kaddish, right? You got Mashlim and Maftir. So the Mashlim is Kaddish, and then you got Maftir, the Haftarah. So it's more than Eloi Neshama to do the Haftarah, even more than to do the Kaddish. So sometimes you have to be Chacham Lev to get the right mitzvah out of it. So maybe we should take that as a lesson for us as well. I'm going to end off with one last idea. And I think this is really a big message for everybody over here that we can go with, take home. Rabbeinu Bachai says like this: "Vaya b'yad Yosef." Yosef had the zchut that Yosef buried Yaakov Avinu, his father, right? So Yosef buried Yaakov. Who buried Yosef? Moshe took Yosef, right? Moshe, he had the privilege of Yosef had the kavod of Moshe Rabbeinu, the leader of Am Yisrael, taking him. And who buried Moshe? Hashem, very good. So you see, burying someone is chesed shel emet. It's chesed that no one can pay you back. When you bury, you do someone a favor, you do chesed with them, they can always pay you back. But chesed shel emet is burying someone dead. How's the dead going to repay you? But Yosef, he buried Yaakov. And then he had the zchut that Moshe Rabbeinu himself would take him to bury him. And Moshe, that he took care of Yosef, Hashem himself took care of Moshe Rabbeinu. Fine, that was just a side point. The message that I wanted to share with you is the next part. The Midrash says, B'zchut Yosef, I'm just reading for you everyone from here. B'zchut Yosef nikah hayam. That the sea split. B'zchut Yosef, in the merit of Yosef, that's how the sea split. And that's why it says, by Yosef, it says, Vayanas vayetze achutza. with Eshet Potiphar. When she grabbed onto his coat, it says Vayanas. Vayanas means he flee. He ran away. He ran outside. And in Tehillim it says, in Hallel, Hayam Ra'a Vayanos. What does it mean, Hayam Ra'a Vayanos? The sea, Hayam is the sea, Ra'a, Sur, Vayanos. And it flew, and it split. Ma Ra'a, what did the sea see? What did the sea see? What did the sea see? What did the Yam Suf see? Ma Ra'a Atzmotav Shel Yosef. It saw the bones of Yosef. ביוסף כתיב וינחם אותם וידבר אל ליבם. ובים כתיב בלב ים. So that is what the Midrash says. Midrash Rabbah. What caused the sea? That means Am Yisrael came to the sea. Okay? And Moshe said, okay, B'chavod, we need to walk. Can you please make way? Split the sea. We need to go. And the Yam Suf didn't want to go. It wasn't interested in splitting. And then the sea sees the Atzmot Yosef, the bones of Yosef, and all of a sudden, Vayanas, Vayar, Hayam, Vayanas. Now the question is, right, all of Am Yisrael is there. Moshe Rabbeinu is there. Nobody. Suddenly, the sea sees Atzmot Yosef, they get scared and splits. Well, what does it see? What's the big deal about Yosef? I want someone to get the answer over here.
But I don't know the answer, but I just see some kind of connection of Yosef being buried in the Nile, in the water, and Yam Suf is water. So I don't know, maybe there is some connection. That's the only idea.
Okay, let's give you a remez. Okay, what's the connection? We see Hayam Rabianos. We bring a pasuk about Yosef with Potiphar, Eshet Potiphar. Okay, it says that when she grabbed onto him, when she grabbed his chaluk, it says Vayanas v'yitzeh achutza, that he ran out, Vayanas, and he fled. And that's the same word, Vayanas and Ra'a Hayam Vayanos. Vayanos and Vayanos. By Yosef it says Vayanas, that he fled, and by the in Hallel we said Hayam Ra'a Vayanos. And that's the same word, and we see that the sea saw Yosef and it fled. That's why. It's like it learned a lesson from Yosef. Yeah, that's enough clue over there. Go on, man. Mo. No, okay. We'll give it to you here, okay? You want to try? We'll give you another chance. What does the sea see in Yosef? Okay, so I saw this written, this idea in the Rav Yaakov Naiman writes it in his Sefer as well. Yosef HaTzadik, right? When he had a big nisayon with Potiphar, okay, he was a child that he was abandoned. His mother died when he was very young. His brothers hated him. He grew up with no brotherly love and no motherly love. And he was hated and thrown into a pit. And the first woman in his life to show him friendship and to show him warmth and affection was Potiphar, the wife, and was very big nisayon. And Yosef HaTzadik had to go against his nature, to do something against was his teva, to change his teva, and to go against that, and to do Ratzon Hashem. So for the sea to split, it has to go against nature. Hashem created the sea as it is. So now the sea is saying, why should I change for you? Who are you, Am Yisrael? Who are you, Moshe Rabbeinu? I was created in the beginning of creation. I'm not splitting for nobody. This is my nature. This is how Hashem made me. But when the sea sees Yosef, Atzmot Yosef, and he sees how Yosef changed his nature to do Ratzon Hashem, he changed his teva. So that's what made the miracle of the sea split. That's what made the sea split. Midah keneged midah, it changed its nature. And to do the Ratzon Hashem. And you see, this is, we say in Perkei Avot, yeah? In Perek Bet, Amar ben Gamliel, hu haya omer, Aseh retzono keretzonecha. Do the will of God as you will. Kidei sheyaseh retzonecha keretzono. then he will do your will. Batel retzonecha mipnei retzono. Batel, nullify your ratzon. Forget what you want. Do only what Hashem wants. Kidei שיבטל רצון אחרים מפני רצונך. He will מבטל, he will nullify רצון אחרים. The רצון of the sea will be batel against your רצון, and the sea will split for you. And there's a beautiful story, just to show this as an example. Of Chaim Shmulevitz, when he was there was war in Israel, there was missiles, and everyone was scared reading Tehillim. And they were in a bunker, in a bomb shelter, and there was a widow, and she just opened the door, and she just started shouting out into the Shamayim, and she said, I was a widow for 25 years. My husband, he left me. Yeah, it wasn't a widow. She was aguna. What's aguna is? Aguna is someone, her husband. We don't know whether he's alive or dead. And she says, my husband left me, and he left me alone with kids, and I raised them on my own for 25 years, and he left me without a get. He didn't give me a get, and I have every right to be angry with him and be upset with him. And she's shouting at Shammai, said, but I forgive my husband, and if I go and I forgive him, then you can forgive Am Yisrael. That's what she said. And Reb Chaim Shmulevitz said, when this woman said that all the missiles stopped in Yerushalayim, and he said that when there's a change in the nature, when someone changes his midot, or vera midotam, that's when you can see a nes. And that's when Yosef, when he changed his nature, and he went against his own nature to do Ratzon Hashem, that's when there was zocha to a nes. And, a person can fulfill great yeshuot. If he has the opportunity at home to stop himself just before he gets that angry, or to forgive somebody, who upset him, that there's a moment of et ratzon, time for yeshua, for tefillah. So that's really the message of Hayam Beyanos. Is there any questions? We're going to end this year now.
I would never work it out myself.
No? Meir?
Yeah. Beautiful explanation.
Okay, so I'd just like to summarize for tonight's shiur. Any questions? No. Okay, so we had a lot of lessons tonight. First of all, we learned Vayehi is Vayi Lashon Beshalach Paro. I don't think it's Paro sending us out, it's Hashem, right? That's the leaders of the world are just puppets in the hands of Hashem, the emunah. Everything is from Hashem. And there's no leader, Palestinian or American, who's doing anything. It's only Hashem. That is the Vayi Beshalach Paro. Then we explained that everything, why would they want to go back to Mitzrayim, even though they suffered there? Because everything goes according to the finish. Because they sent them away with a nice big check, right? So even if they abused them for many years, but if they got a nice check at the end, a person has to end off nicely, end off the friendship, the conversation, even the day, the week, end off, if there's an eruption, you're in a gathering, a party, there's an eruption, okay, make peace, everything, smooth it over at the end and say goodbye nicely. That's important, everything goes according to the end. We said, why did they have to go in the midbar? So Hashem wanted to give them an opportunity to learn Torah while they're in the desert, and an opportunity to show them the miracles that He can provide for them, to be strengthen the emunah before they go into Eretz Yisrael, to be machazek the emunah. That Hashem can provide for them anywhere. And we explained what was chamushim. Either a fifth got out, or that they went out with weapons. And we said, "Vayikach Moshe atzmot Yosef." We explained that Yosef gave them a shavua to keep the spirits, the hope for the Geulah. And we explained that Moshe, he was doing the mitzvah because Chacham lekach to weigh up what mitzvah was the opportunity to do the best mitzvah possible. If it was a mitzvah to take money, but a mitzvah also to take the bones. He wanted to do mitzvah which no one else was doing. Mitzvah she'ifshar yidachrim. You're the only one who can do the mitzvah. That's the important to do it. And that's why he wanted to do the mitzvah of Yosef and to bury them, right? And we said that's what chavivin al mitzvah. He loved the mitzvah. He wanted to get the best one, the best mitzvah. You want to get the best out of your money, the best out of your time, the best out of your mitzvah. Do the best possible. Mitzvah. That's why Moshe. And we have an opportunity to do mitzvah what no one else can do. that's the one you should go for. And the last thing we said was that the sea split because of Yosef, because he changed his nature. That's why there was a miracle of changing the nature of splitting the sea. And that's really why all the tzaddikim, you see Baba Sali and big tzaddikim, how can they change the miracle's nature? The Or HaKadosh says that when a person changes his own nature and ratzon for doing Hashem, then everything's batel for him. All of nature is against the Torah. So when a person, he does everything to try his best to learn Torah and even change nature, then Hashem will change nature for him. And we gave the story of the woman who forgave her husband for abandoning her, and because of that, she made the whole war stopped because of her. Because when you change your nature in yourself, you can see Nisim and Yeshua. And that's the Mishnah Perkei Avot, Aseh Ratzono Kertzonecha. Kedesh Aseh Ratzonecha Kertzono. Thank you for joining us, Michio. Thank you for the Basan family. And good night to everyone. I wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for joining us.
Chazak u'baruch.
Okay, good night. Hopefully we'll try and improve for next week. Mayor, just a question for you.